So today I'd like to share with you guys some of the research results for one of the digital car key system. Yeah, so, hey? Sorry. Okay, I have to go just this way. Okay. Yeah, so who am I? My name is Kevin. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. It's welcome. I'm a security researcher from InGeek Security Consultant. We are based in Shanghai. We dedicate to automotive security research. And my particular area is focused on wireless and embedded systems. Yeah, so. And today's agenda is going to be like this. First, I'm going to do a very quick introduction about Key Fob 101. And then I will walk through the structure and the functionality of our target today. It's called AMI key. AMI key is also called, AKA digital car keys. And then I will do some analysis and introduce attack vectors on this AMI key system. So basically, I will start from physical layer, and then we take a look a bit about RF layer, and we take a look at application. Eventually, let's see how can we do some Bluetooth sniffing and decrypt the packet. Right. So introduction. I think car key fob is one of the most common items we can find in our pocket, right? So in a very early age, the car keys only really just rely on the mechanic key, and then they implement some kind of a remote key entry. So it actually starts with some kind of infrared, and then move on to RF fixed code, and then the rolling code. And in order to pivot to do some authentication, they also implement something called RFID. They put RFID chip inside your car keys, and and then there's a new game changer coming in. So basically, those manufacturers start to implement some car key access system that really just rely on mobile phones, right? So yeah, this is going to be a new trend. For example, if you're buying a new Tesla Model 3, you won't have any actual physical key anymore. They're going to provide you RFID tag, and also really you're going to download the application from them, and you can unlock, or start engine from your mobile phones. Fuck. Sorry. That was not my laptop, so no. Yeah. So now Tesla is not the only only manufacturer doing that. So actually, it's everybody doing this for the future cars. So like Volvo, like Mercedes-Benz, they're also doing this kind of thing, right? So that's going to be a new trend. And now, what has been done in so far? For the past few years, we have looked many different case studies to dedicate to the car key fob studies. So here I list some of them as an example. For example, in the early 2008, the rolling code algorithm called keylog has been cracked, and also there's a transpondent algorithm high-tech2 also been cracked, and also Sammy, he's our hero as always. And he presented a talk in DEF CON a few years ago. It's basically he found a trick that called rolling jump, that basically you can use in that to kind of bypass the rolling codes mechanism. Now, there's in 2015, there's some new attack vector came out. I'm going to introduce a little bit more on these two details. So basically, a researcher from Germany, he found a way to hack your BMW through a cellular network. And then there's in England, there's a research the company from Pentest Partners. Their research and found out how can they hack the Wi-Fi access point through your Mitsubishi Outlanders. Oh, okay, sorry. All right. Yeah. So, those are the attack vectors, not just only focus on your key fob anymore. So it actually involves even more attack vectors. So, yeah, here's the details regarding the BMW Connect drive. So basically, this German researcher, he able to set up a fake base station. So it's like similar cellular network. Now, the vulnerable design here is BMW is really rely on the HTTP to communicate back to the backend server. So he able to reverse engineer and decrypt the traffic and set up the fake base station in order to unlock the BMW Connect drive, right? So, and then here's another case study. In 2016, the Pentest Partners, the researcher, they able to crack the Wi-Fi access point provided by your Outlander cars, and once they connect to your car and reverse engineer protocols, now they able to do a lot of cool things like turn off your air conditioning, heating, and the alarms. Right, that's the scary part. So I would say the new trend coming. There's always going to be some new hacks, right? So now let's take a look at our main target today. It's called AMI key. The AMI key, aka digital car keys, is invented by a company called Xiaomi from China. Basically, this device here is what it does is it enables some of the old car model become like smart cars. So basically, you can use in this device, you connect to your car, and you can unlock, and start the engine through mobile phones, right? Here's some of the highlights for the features. So this device is really rely on Bluetooth low energy, and they can, as I said, they can lock and unlock your cars. And one of the interesting feature I found regarding to any other smart locks is the key sharing features, and this is really advantage, I think, distinguishing of old type of car key fob systems is sharing. You can share to different users, your friends, even you are in different countries, right? So you take a look at the picture down below. That's how you connect your AMI key to your cars. So you have to put left your AMI key always left inside your cars, right? And once when you come to the car, you want to open it, you just pairing with the AMI key with your Bluetooth, and then you send an unlocking command. The AMI key will send another RF signal in order to unlock the car, right? So the components of AMI key is like this. As you can see, it's quite simple. It's only really just in a few items here. Is one of the blank key, and then there's main. You see the little thing in the middle that's the main board of the AMI key, and then there's another square one. It's called AMI key sensor. So it's very simple components, right? It's not much. So here's the how you gonna do how the AMI key really works. Is first you need to downloading some application from AMI key, and you do the normal process. Sorry. You do a normal process like you duplicate your original key, mechanical keys, and you scan the barcode on your AMI key in order to get the activation code. Then once you put an activation code into the application, then you are binding your application with this AMI key, and then you can log in to the AMI key through Bluetooth, and from there you can lock and unlock, send the lock unlock command to the AMI key, and just like any other key duplicating process, the very last stage is you need to register your AMI key to the car. It's just like if you lost your original car key, you go to the car dealer, you do the same thing. You need to register your new key to your cars, right? So, as AMI key client, they are supporting quite a lot different brand of the car models. Now remember, those car models are not a very high-end recent car models. It's quite a they're targeting the market is like old cars, old model of cars, right? Because those cars usually don't have those fancy features. But what happens if you want to have some nice feature, and you probably can buy some AMI key, right? So that's how I think that's how they marketing strategy is. So yeah, as you can see, they supporting but those model is very common, like a Volkswagen, Hyundai, yeah, Ford, right? So now, yeah, let's take a look inside, right? From hacker perspective, we really want, we don't care how many models they really support. We really care is how they does work, right? So I think the very first stage when you, this is not just applied to AMI key, I think it's applied to any other embedded systems. The first thing when you get your target, you want to take, get as much information as possible. Now, sometimes when you get some black box of your target, you have no idea at all about your target. So I think the best practice is if you are able to access some kind of X-ray machine, you take a picture to look inside. Now, the reason why we're doing that is to see if your target has implement some kind of protection mechanism inside, right? Sometimes if they do, when you open a case, you may damage, right? So yeah, we take a look through X-ray machine, and we have found there's just only 2 screws. They don't implement any actual protection mechanism, but still this is a best good practice, right? It's not necessary, but yeah, good to have. Yeah, so we can go ahead and open it up. And this, the AMI key system structure is very simple. They only have 2 boards inside. As you can see, the yellow board, the yellow one, and there's a green one. And the picture in the middle is actually back side of the green board. As you can see, this one is just connected to back to the yellow board. Yeah. So. Right. So, so when we open up the AMI keys, we want to see some details, right? The deep details. So, I think people have more familiar with reverse engineering those hardware or embedded systems. We know the first thing we are going to be looking for is the chip model. So from there, we can find some more details, right? So for the AMI key, they nicely labeled the chip model is CC2640. And when we Google it, we find out this is actually a Bluetooth module, right? So, and then we Google another green board, it's actually called NSP61X0915, and this is an RF module. So basically, we can use that to it's actual, just like your actual RF car keys. Now, there's one thing different here is this RF module is really very different car models, right? So, not again. Sorry, really apologize. Yeah, and also, if you have ever done some RF hacking, you will know the first thing we always going to look is something called a FCC ID. But since this Army key is really dedicated to the Chinese market, they have similar system. It's called a CMIT ID, but it's just equivalent to the FCC ID. So we type into the database, we can find more details regarding this chip. Yeah, sorry. Now, there's one thing interesting though. You remember there's a little square device beside the Army key mainboard. Is called sensor, and then when I open it, we find out the chip type is SYD8801. Now, I don't know why Army key does this. The functionality of this sensor is unknown, right? I go through the menus, I go through the applications, I go through their official website. They have not any detail mentioned. What do we do with this one? And we can get Army keys to work even without this one. So it's really strange they have this device here. So maybe they just implement this for the future use. So they send you in advance, right? So they don't need to send you again. So I open it up. It's really just a Bluetooth another Bluetooth module. So I connect into it to try to get some more details. And as we can see, this is something called Army key smart key sensors, and there's some interesting UID here. So since we cannot find more details, so why not we just go deeper? So I take a look at the data sheet of this particular chip, and I try to connect. Since from the data sheet we find out it's actually supporting UART, SPI, all those common protocols. So I connect into it and try to find if there's a hint this what it may do. But I cannot find any much useful information here. But since this device is not really useful for hacking the actual Army keys, so I just leave there for the moment. Maybe in the future, if they actually implement and they update some information, we can always go back to take a look at it. So now we actually spend most time on the main board of the Army key. So we take a look first the RF module. In the back side of the RF green board, that's the later there. So they have nicely labeled the value on it. So we can simply do some simple math to calculating to find out the seems like a potential frequency range and a bit rate, something like that, right? But we need to verify it, right? So this is a very simple setup like this. We're using a SDR device, and we connect to a antenna, and then we just simply press the lock or unlock buttons, try to receive some signals, see if the configuration is correct. So I'm using SDR hack RF here, but really it doesn't really need just hack RF. You can use Spray RF or use RP, whatever you want. Yeah. So as you can see, when I press the button, there's the peaks coming up. It's definitely it is the 433.9 megahertz range, right? So the configuration is correct. Now we also take a look at some RF Bluetooth module. Because the Bluetooth module is actually we spend the most of the time on in order to hack the Army key. So what we can do the first when we try to connecting your Bluetooth module is to do some recon operation, right? So we can using application like Light Blue or RF Connect. Really here just try to find out as much information possible. So first we can see the actually always broadcast the Bluetooth MAC address So that means we potentially we may able to track you. And also the other key information details here is those UUIDs, right? And if you ever have done Bluetooth hacking, then you will know those UUID is really the key things for you, right? Now come on. Yeah, so the light blue or NF Connect is not the only thing that application you can use to talk to your Bluetooth devices. If we want to more interactive, we can always use the application Get2 to interactive with your target. So here I list all of the UUID here from the AMI key, right? Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So and also if we want to see more details, we also can now a nice feature from the Android 4.4 above. In the developer mode, there's a function you can enable a Bluetooth stamp. So basically, you can see all the traffic, interactive traffic from the log file, and we can reloading this log file into a Wireshark, and then we can we know all the details, every steps between your mobile phone and your target AMI key, right? So here, we can see some read response regarding AMI key's battery information. So this is the actual app. I know it's in Chinese, but I'm going to translate to English. Right? It's actually, the layout is quite simple. So first, there's a connection. You press the button to connect into your AMI key, and then once you connect, there's only a few functions here. So basically, it's unlock your car and you lock it, or you open your trunk back door, something like that. It's very simple. And then, as I mentioned, the nice feature is the key sharing. You can sharing with your friend, your wife, you other guys, and yeah. So, but we want to see more, right? Turns out, AMI key application, just like everybody else, right? They never bother to handling your actual code, APK files. So we can easily to see the Java bytecode. Now, from Java bytecode, it's almost like we are reading the source code. So, for example, this class here is really just algorithm how they generating the UUID. So basically, we actually spend some time here to just reading through the code to understand how AMI key works, right? How they functional. Yeah. Now, here's got something interesting. Yeah. So if you are able to read Chinese, then you see that the comment is very funny, right? Yeah. Basically, it turns I think it's just maybe developer at a time is not very in a good mood. He actually put comments like, "What the hell?" in that code. Oh wow. And now, other than that, there's some interesting information like this URL here. Now, actually, when I try to access this URL, it actually turns out it actually mentioned that this is a company internal login system. If you are not an employee, please go away. So I don't know why, if they don't want people access it, why not just don't bother to put there, right? So, okay. Here, did you spot something interesting? Yeah. Usually, when I start to try to reverse engineer some applications, I will expect to see the first thing I actually expect to see if they have enabled search pending or not. But turns out that's not necessary at all. They are completely rely on HTTP, right? So from there, since we all know that HTTP is not insecure, all the information is in plain text, so they're leaking a lot of privacy information here. So for example, this one here, you probably cannot see, but it's actually your IMEI number of your mobile phones, right? So if people are able to sniff in with your traffic, then yeah. And here's some more. Now, when we register with, usually when we register a new user, they have some kind of protection called security questions in order to recover your keys in the future if you lost it. So again, it's in HTTP. So those you have all the if you sniffing it, you are able to find all the answer to those security questions, right? So you may just impersonating this guy, the owner in the future because you already know how to recover it. Yeah, so simple summary here is the AmiKey application communicating with the backend server is really just rely on HTTPs. So yeah, no privacy here at all. But there's more. So I'm gonna introduce more on this one later on. So we see how this HTTP can lead us to compromise your systems, right? But encryptions. There must be some kind of encryptions, right? Because every manufacturer vendor, they always claim their product is the most secure one in the world. So actually, in the manual, there's one like Q&A kind of thing. They mention their product is rely on Bluetooth 4.0, and they have created their own proprietary encryptions, unique, right? Very secure. So really, they really think they are super secure. So they put, this is a picture I took from their official website. They put all the fancy crypto words on there. So you may think, wow, this is really scary. It's super secure, right? Wow, okay, let's find out. Yeah, the first thing we can do is try to do some physical access, right? Okay. Not again. Okay. So here's the thing. We can always do some old school way, right? Now remember, the AmiKey by request has to be always left in the car. So maybe those theft. Or what you usually do, they can break in your glass, right? They get it. They get your key. Your key is inside. Now, however, you cannot, because you cannot repairing with your AmiKey yet. So what they can do is since it's also easy to open up, they don't have any protection mechanism. You can simply grab a blank key. You replace the AmiKey RF module chip and swap to the blank keys. And that way, you are able to unlock it. Or you can, during a reverse engineering process, we actually build a board to simplify the process, right? Yeah. So here, I like to play a little demo here to prove my point. Okay, let me find the physical access. It's not coming up, okay. Right. Yeah, this is actually a blank key, right? We already done a replacing process, so yeah, it's open, right? So it's simple. This is a simple process to prove that this replacing RF process it will work. Right? All right, thanks. Yeah. But, you know, we're gentlemen. We shouldn't do that too brute, like, you know. But theft, they don't care, right? So, yeah. Since this physical access is really it's really not much technical detail involved. It's violent. Let's check out some RF. Now, when I researched the RF module, I easily found some news all on the internet. So basically, some theft, they actually use the device called car key jammers. They use it now to preventing the owner to lock in your cars, right? And they actually make a lot of money from just by doing that. And even by selling those key fob jammer to make a fortune. So yeah. Now here's the actual simple process how they do it. So they basically the staff just wait in a car parking lot and waiting for some user can maybe they have something in mind and they forgot they are in rush. They just simply press the lock button and they don't bother to check if they actually locked or not, because meanwhile the staff they sending out RF jamming signals, so you cannot actually lock your cars. So when the owner walk away, they can just open your cars and take whatever they want. So this is a very simple process. Now, and then my question is, does AmiKey smart enough to avoiding this kind of attack, right? So turns out the AmiKey is actually just a one-way communication. So basically, you're sending a signal to the yellow board through Bluetooth, and Bluetooth will send another just like simple pulse to your green board to say, okay, let's unlock it. But you never check. There's no response say if the actual signal has actually arrived in your car. So here I make another simple demo just to prove my point. Yeah. Yeah, you see you hear the background noise is the SDR is running. So I see when I press lock and unlock, you hear the signal beep, and then little yellow light LED turn on. That means its operation works, right? So yeah, to prove my point, you press button and you see the signal peaks. Right? Okay. So now I just using the yard sticker and RF cat like a tools called OOK tools to just basically you can use to sending all the jamming signals, right? So yeah, as you can see, all the frequency band is already been jammed. Now let's do the unlocking command operation again. As you can see, the LED still light up, but there's no signal, no details regarding the jamming. So you cannot, the owner of the AmiKey cannot tell if it actually works or not, right? So basically, if even AmiKey claim itself is a smart car key system, but they're just like any others original old systems, right? So. Okay, what's next? Again, Sami is our hero, right? So, yeah, I would recommend you to take a look at his presentation back a few years ago in DEF CON, and yeah, check out the rolling code, roller jam techniques. It's really cool. Come on, this is really bad. Yeah, but since the RF module on AmiKey is very different from each other AmiKeys. So my goal here is really just complete. I want to compromise the AmiKeys. So I decide not to spend much time on it, right? But here's more we can do: key sharing analysis, right? So here's the a nice feature regarding your key sharings. It's very simple. First, you set the time, the length of your key you want to share, how long it's going to be lost. You can also set permanently, or you can set just like maybe 1 day, 1 month, something like that. And once you create that, you can send. Also, this AmiKey has the limitation on you can only create a share to 20 keys to basically 20 users, right? So once the limit is reached, you will not able to create anymore. So this is the entire process of how you can share what it actually shared with your your friends, right? So basically, you click on a key, shared key trace you created, then the AMI key will generate a barcode here. And also they have 3 other different ways to share with, to dispute those shared keys. So basically you can send the text to your friend. You can just copy the keys and just maybe email it to him or whatever. Now, there's another interesting feature. It's called, you can send through WeChat. WeChat is, aka Weixin, is one of the most popular IM software they use in China. So you can send your key through WeChat. Now, also, I'm using the 2D barcode reader to just check out what code inside up to be barcode. Turns out it's not like this. Now, then once now this is the key you are shared with users. So the user, when the user get these keys, they can again put into the activation. Go through the activation process, and once they activate it, and then good go, right? So, what could possibly go wrong? Super secure, right? Again, as I mentioned, the complete communicating process is rely on HTTP. So really, if we are doing some kind of man-in-the-middle sniffing, we can able easily to get your actual key. Right now, the first thing when in a background, the first thing AMI key does is they send your very long secure encryption key, AMI key, to one of the websites, and the website will response back a very short URL for you, and when I access that URL again, it will just reveal the actual keys, right? So now this is from owner side. If you are sniffing in the car owner's local network, then you will get a key. Now what about if you are at time's up? But if it's because the other guys. I will do very quick, right? Okay, sorry about guys. Yeah, so in the user side layer is very also simple. They send you the car keys, and yeah, it's also plain text, and then you can sniff in for it, right? So because time stuff, so I don't do much demos here. So yeah, so the very next thing is what you can do is can we cancel it, right? So if the owner find out that they want to cancel a key, right? So yeah, I have to do a very quick demo here. Just come on. So yeah, see, I actually try to cancel it. Now, see, the AMI key is cancelled. This shared key is cancelled, but still, we're still able to lock and unlock the car keys. Why? Right? Maybe it's already connected. So I disconnect it again and try to reconnect. It still works. Why? Right? See, you turn on, turn off, no problem. Now, it turns out if you go back to the owner's phone, there's actually a message here. What you actually say, you need to sync in order to cancel the shared key. You need to sync your AMI key first, right? Now, think about this. If you already lost your cars, where the hell you can connect into the keys, right? You cannot. So you need to be able to cancel it. Right? Simple, very interesting logic here. Again, right? So if we cannot cancel it, can we wait? Because there's timing, right? If you are not set up permanently, there is timing. So maybe we can just wait till that expired, right? Okay, we're gonna just very quick, almost there, right? Yeah. So here again. I try to find out if we can bypass those timing sharing issues, right? So, see, as you can see here, it's tell me time's already expired, and actually shared time is actually 1:30, right? In AM in the morning. Yeah, okay, that's no problem. And when you share to the user, you don't have much function to do. You just lock and unlock. So again, oh come on, this one. We're still able to lock and unlock, right? Even the time expired. So disconnect, connect again, still function. Right? Unlock, lock. Yeah. Just just to confirm, now time is like 1:43 already. It's way past the time, right? So again, when time expires, you have to connect to your original car keys in order to update information. This car is expired. What the hell? You cannot. So which means your key expiring will never expire, right? Your last key is gone. Okay. Okay, I just sniffing the traffic and decryption. Right? That's the interesting part. So yeah, where's the security encryption they're talking about? So basically, when I analyzing through the Wireshark, they sent some listed some interesting information. The first step, they send some seems like send some command to your AMI key, and the AMI key will respond some random values here. And then the following is a very long, actually in total 70 bytes of the some kind of, I don't know, encryption strings maybe. So yeah, because yeah, okay. So and then when I try to lock and unlock the cars, and then we 3 times, then I can see this fixed value. Always gonna see this fixed value. The reason they send it 2 times is they may probably simulating the press and the release movement, right? So that's why they send 2 value to your UIDs. Okay, so once we have the value, can we unlock it? Actually, it's not. We will actually failed with it. So actually, turns out in order to unlock your key, you actually implement some kind of login process. So yeah. So I take a look very quickly. The login process is actually So we have details regarding all the parameters we need for login to your system. And from the picture here, we literally see the secure, super secure algorithm is here, XOR. We see XOR operation all over the place. Now, turns out the login protocol is really working like this. We fetch they fetch a value to the server and get a random value keys. And then they calculate it, and route up to make an encryption login pocket. Now, if everything works fine, it will respond to the status code A. Okay. Now, really, when I look deeper, we're able to find out it's actually in order to find out the encryption code, it's really just random numbers we got from the AMI key, and then there's also another secret key, fixed random D-word number from device initialization. But it turns out it's only 1 byte. So we take a look at login pocket parameter again. We see some interesting code. The algorithm to find out a 1 byte key code is really just you get a current calendar, the year, and you minus 2000, and you get a 1 byte. Then you can convert to the hex code, and once you get that, you're able to get all the information in order to create your login pocket, right? And here's the code we wrote to in order to do that, and yeah, just prove. However, this is turns out it's some surprise, but it's not going to bother too much. But because we not see the startup code AA in order to work, we reverse engineer the actual firmware. But in order to find out, actually we have disassemble it. So in order to that work, we have to put everything in one piece. So okay, so now we get a code that's working. So we can sniff in the traffic and. And then turns out it's not really secure at all. Right? 1 byte machine SOR, we can sniff it. So sorry, I go to very quick last demo just prove my point. Yeah, so here we just running a simple script, right? And then you can see we are able to trigger key to send out create our own packet to log into the key and send out the signals, right? Because we send it 3 times just to prove from our point. Okay, so let's go back again very quickly. Yeah, so what's the can we report for CVEs, right? So as the responsible disclosure. So I actually contact through their phone, mobile, the emails. They have nothing replied. So okay. So yeah, really conclusion here is security by obscurity is not really going to work. You have to test your product properly before going on market. Yeah, I think I'm running time, so there's no questions. So sorry guys.
Very fast.
Thank you.